We're about to have some drunk history off of YouTube comments, YouTube videos, YouTube comments. So the other day I saw a video that was like, it was sent to me in my inbox on Instagram. And I normally don't like pay attention to messages in my Instagram inbox unless it's like somebody that interacts with me regularly, and I don't pay attention to people that just like watch and then like there's nothing. So anyway, somebody sent me a video the other day, and let me get my little drink because I did say we were doing drunk history. So we're doing a video about right now. This guy does. Wait, hold on. Let me get my sip. Clearly, first of all, wait. Before we go into it, I don't know if anybody knows, but there's this movie called Mac and Me, super old. I think it was like 1988. It's so bad it's good. It's so bad it's good. I just watched that again on YouTube, and it was good as shit again. So I'm definitely a couple drinks in after watching Mac and Me because whatever. But I felt like I can't say compelled because that's just not a thing for me. I'm in the middle of a video. The fuck? I'm in the middle of a video. Every time I get on the phone or I'm in a video, now you want to be all up in my mouth. Come on, man. So, all right. How am I going to start this? Oh, okay. So, the video basically is talking about like it was this white guy. Let's start there first. Let's start there first. Let me set my shit up. Hold on. Let me get my little phone holder. All right. So there's this white guy. I don't know where his ass lives at. I don't know shit about him. But it's like some preppy white boy putting a video out about prepare yourselves. China is about to attack, right? I had to laugh. When I saw the heading, I definitely laughed because it was actually comical. Secondly, I didn't want to start out laughing and like take it not seriously, but in all honesty, I was just like, I laughed for like a good 2-3 minutes. Then I said, okay, pull it together. I pulled it together. My hair is crazy. Oh, don't judge me. Don't judge me. It's like what bewitching hour, and I just was like video now. So he's talking about, and he goes in all the details, explaining like Chinese media propaganda, and because let's go here. Everybody's worried about like the apocalypse, and there's definitely different scenarios of like different apocalyptic events that can happen. The apocalypse can happen with nuclear war. Boom, done. All right. G7 on nuclear war. Done. We're done. We're fucked. All right. If you don't know what G7 is, look it up. Then I will answer a lot of your questions in your life as to why shit is fucked up and it continues to be fucked up. So the first apocalyptic event that would be actually all of these supposed people in authority that are supposed to be protecting the natural resources and blah blah blah. Those people, they get into a little tussle, and then all of a sudden itchy fingers start pressing on the nuclear football, and then we fuck around and we have all out World War III, and then the shit is trashed to fucking back where we came from. So, but that's not a reality. Don't get me wrong, everybody does have nuclear weapons. The thing is that everybody who does have them knows good and goddamn well, even if one of them pop off, out of protocol, everybody else has to follow suit. So they are not pressing nobody's fucking nuclear weapon. Even North Korea's not doing that shit. I don't even know if they even got allies. I know even North Korea, that crazy ass dude over there, even that dude is not doing that shit. Because if he does that shit, everybody else gonna be doing that shit. It's gonna be trash. It's gonna be dusty up in this bitch, okay? No water, no nothing. Fallout fucking, what was it? Fallout 3 in this bitch. Fallout 4 in this bitch. That's how it's gonna look. So they not doing that. They not doing that because they know better. First of all, they love their money. Their god is money. So if money gets destroyed and everything is fucked up, what do they have to live for? They'd be more of the ones in the bunkers. You know they don't know what the fuck their ass is doing. You know their asses don't know how to build no damn log cabin in the middle of bumblefuck. You know their asses don't do none of their own fucking gardening. You know they don't grow their own food. You know you know they don't even cut their own hair, wash their own fucking clothes. You know their fucking asses ain't fucking blowing shit up. Let that shit rest and let it lie. It just so happened that they got some damn nuclear weapons. That's what it is. It just so happened they got some nuclear weapons and now everybody is in a checkmate, okay? That's where we at with them. So that's one apocalyptic event. But this guy wasn't even talking about that. He X'd that out. He straight up said, no, we're not talking about nuclear weapons. We're talking China's going to attack on proper media propaganda. And I'm like, and then he proceeds to explaining all the ways that China has propaganda to make people think that America is not great or America is not a good place to be and blase, blase, blah. Okay? Let's just stop here. Let's go on a gamer perspective because I paused the video and I thought in my head, I said, well, think about video games. Most of these places have video games, right? China has video games. We have video games. We have YouTube. We have streaming. They have their own streaming. They might not have YouTube, but they have their own shit set up where it's in-house. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not sitting up there like, oh, woe is me. We can't communicate with each other. No. I mean, we communicate with everybody. We try to get everybody on the VPN wave, okay? And we do what we can do because power to the people in this bitch. But we already know what the deal is. I mean, a lot of us know what the deal is already. So when we do things, we're doing things because we have no choice. We literally have no choice. We're not just surviving on no, social security check. We can't do that. That doesn't work. We don't have pension. That doesn't work. If you have those things, you still have to work. You still have to create businesses or work for somebody else to get by. Like, you're not just like living the cake life out here with like, handouts and shit. Like this, oh, we have handouts over here. That's not a thing. The only people that are really getting handouts, stop fighting. Stop. No, don't do that. The only people that are getting handouts is the banks and big corporations. They're the only ones. So everybody else, that's your tax money. You worked your fucking life for that shit. That's your money. How the hell you look like in a pandemic telling people that's why they made the PPE loans so that like if you're a medium-sized business or if you have medium to large-sized business, you can get a loan that is forgivable. Why are you giving out a loan? Why are you calling that? Don't call it that. Just say it's a grant. Just say that that's what it is. Because it's your fucking money. It's our money. So, he goes on about the same thing, because he wasn't talking about, widespread things. He wasn't, the way I'm talking is like, you have to have universal knowledge. You have to know where we came from, what we're about, where we're about right now, and where we're trying to go, and what we're dealing with right now. So, this guy is only on one topic, Chinese propaganda, and I was bored. Honestly, I didn't even watch the whole thing. I was so damn bored, I had to close the damn video out. Because basically, he's trying to sit there and say the same thing over and over again. So, I went into the comment section, and I was just like, and I looked around what people were saying. So like people had mixed responses. A lot of people were like, "Oh, thanks for telling me," because they don't know anything. And then you had people that were like, uh, joking, laughing. Like there was like a lot of people that were like, "Why are you talking about China like anybody else? Why are you talking about China like anybody else is any better? I mean, really? Why is this even a discussion? Why?" That's how I felt. Because, in all honesty, the only difference between China and any other place is that China flipped the script and they used to try to act like, they were just, peaceful and all that. Now they're cool with being like, a villain. So now they want to flex. Like, it wasn't enough that they got their money, Now they want to flex because they got the money and now they can flex. And hey, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. Long as they don't start no shit. That's how people look at it. Like a real, if you're like let's say like a real G, like street talk, like if you're a real G, long as they not coming over here starting no shit, we good. Let them flex. How many people flexing in the gym? How many bitches flexing in the gym? How many people you see in the street, they flexing? All right, you got the muscles, you flexing. Your shirt off, you all in the beach, all sexy, looking good, okay? Let them flex if that's what they need to do. But don't go over here and try to sit there and be like, "Oh, they're trying to take over every bit of Western anything," when fucking America has their own entire propaganda machines. They have full ass Hollywood. Hollywood can't get nothing on the TV unless that shit is approved. Okay? They have to go through media approval with the government. It's not just private industry just putting out whatever the fuck. And people may not know that. The government makes sure that their shit is in their agenda and it follows their agenda. So they have narratives going through their media, through their videos, through all of their shit that fits their agenda. Their shit fits whatever they feel like fucking saying. You seeing it on the videos, on the movies, on the shows, whatever they want everybody to feel, that shit is right there in front of your fucking face. And they have algorithms and everything. And even if you like this, and that, even if you like specific things, once you start liking specific things, you will notice that the narrative changes a little bit to kind of put you to be paranoid or like to be bugged the fuck out. Prime example, even down to the video games, everything. That's gamification, for fuck's sake. So, let me get my drink. So, I go comment that, I'm like, were y'all asleep or what happened? Why are you acting like America didn't fucking the colonizers didn't slaughter almost all the Native Americans up in this bitch? Why are y'all trying to act like that never happened? Like, do you have dementia? Did you bump your head and catch amnesia? Like, did you got a case of amnesia that you forgot? Or were you that grossly ill-educated? Did the educational institution, was that shit really doctored that much that you as a grown-ass person don't fucking remember that they slaughtered the fuck out of the damn Indians and then they bought over a bunch of slaves that built this infrastructure in this bitch? Built the infrastructure in this bitch and fucking then they went through World War II to save some Jews they ain't have nothing to do with, okay? They wasn't over there lighting the coals in the fucking gas chambers. They weren't doing that shit. The fuck did they have to go over there trying to be daddy do-gooder world police for? So then they went over there. They did that fine. But then they turned around, hired Nazi intelligence into their structure and the fabric of their existence, then got financially into bed with Israel, sat there and put that whole entire country, that state, That is a welfare state. Israel is on the American dollar welfare, okay? There and here. And they funded all of their high tech. So they got into bed with them. Now everybody want to sit there and act like they don't know that it's Nazis and Jews on the payroll. And top it off, then they started molding their systems around Nazi mentality. Then they put the Jews in charge. So now in the inner cities, in the housing, they're running this shit like it's a concentration camp in this bitch. In the housing, public housing, even the private housing that they have here, they're running this shit like there's the housing that I'm living in is for people with disabilities and elderly people. They running this shit like a literal concentration camp. People are dying every month. I've been living here 6 years. People been dying. They would have died, yes. Nobody's saying they wouldn't have died because a lot of them are old and they had illnesses. We're talking about they verbally abused them, kept them in their apartments, restricted their freedom of movement. They went all the way. All the way in, all the way. If it wasn't for my young self going the fuck off every time I seen some crazy shit, this place would have lost so many people that it would have been staggering. Okay, because it's like a revolving door of old people up in this bitch. And they're sitting over here acting like Jewish people run the management company that takes our rent checks. Okay? So top it off, aside from the fraudulent behavior, aside from everything else, they were grossly abusing people and acting like nothing happened. And all of this, several state agencies and several federal agencies are all invested, as well as private industry invested in this building. And this is an experiment. That's what they said from day one. So now we're sitting there and we're looking at them and we're like, and we see other people in the actual projects. They don't even have heat in the wintertime. They got colonies of fucking rats underneath their buildings. It's like you're like, what the fuck? I never seen shit like this in my life. I didn't grow up in the city. I grew up in the suburbs. We didn't have no social programs, so everybody had to go to the fucking city. If they were kicked out homeless in the street, we had to go to the fucking city. Same thing with rural areas like Boonville. There's not much food stamps. There's not much public aid. There's like cash assistance, and there's definitely not much housing. So all those people went to the city, and they went to try to get housing, and a lot of them were homeless. So they're running the cities like it's a concentration camp. Top it off, they actually had concentration camps when people started coming over the border in flux when Trump was in presidency, and they had kids dying from negligence, as well as they were raping them because nobody was over their shoulder looking. Because if nobody's looking over the federal government's shoulder, like human rights groups and the UN and NATO and all these places that supposedly give a shit about human rights, even for fuck's sake, places like PETA, you give a fuck about the animals, but you don't give a shit about the kids dying in fucking cages? Like, what the fuck is that? Anyhow, they had full-ass concentration camps in fucking 2020. Nobody hardly was saying shit. It was a small percentage of people that was saying shit about it. And then, even them, they were like, well, what can we do? What can we do? And then everybody outside of the United States is looking at us. Even the Europeans looking at us like, because once the Europeans got outed for the slave trade and how fucked up that was, now they magically caught some ethics and morals, and then they wanted to sit there and act like, well, we made human rights a thing. Well, I mean, that's the least that you could have did. The fuck? I mean, literally. Like, you turned, like, war rituals into multinational conglomeracy of slavery. And didn't bat an eyelash. And everybody's looking at you like, yeah, hello, that's not okay. No, they didn't give a fuck. They didn't give a fuck. England didn't give a fuck. Spain didn't give a fuck. Portugal didn't give a fuck. Germany didn't give a fuck. Who else? England didn't give a fuck. They didn't give a fuck. Now all of a sudden they want to worry about somebody's human rights. And you know they don't give a shit about nobody's human rights, really, because when all that crazy shit was going on, and while all this crazy shit is going on, they're not worried about that shit. They're worried about the G7 summit and worrying about what fucking conglomerates are bitching about the fact that they need to fucking get taxed more money because there's no goddamn reason that they're fucking hoarding all that goddamn money. We got an overabundance of food. Israel has the tech to fucking pull water out the goddamn out the sky. Okay? Instead of sharing that shit, they got the fucking Saudis over here trying to desalinate water, which is actually making toxic, extra salinated, like brine, like bubbles after they take the water out of that shit. That's a hazard in itself. They don't even know what to do with that. It's a whole drama. So they try to make it seem like poverty, hunger, water shortages, blah, blah, blah. The glaciers are melting. The water is rising. They not trying to take the water out of the fucking sky. Then they're not trying to protect the natural resources that they claim is the reason why they're in authority. The reason they're in authority is because they want to protect the natural resources and the wildlife. Yet you see on YouTube a fisherman, random ass young fisher dude, is running out there in a pond in the UK trying to fish, and to come to find out there's a bunch of fucking fish turning up dead because they didn't even have the decency to fucking replace a fucking water pump in a pond. And when he came and said he would do it for free as he crowdsourced the money to do it, they denied him the ability to do it for free. So who the fuck are they trying to okie doke that they give a fuck about the natural resources and the wildlife? Because it ain't me. It ain't me. So, and then America's no better. Fucking, they let, what is it? What was it? Hershey's? Or no, who was it? Who was it that is Poland Spring? Anyway, they let Poland Spring go into the protected rivers and mountain streams and bottle water from there to profit. They supposed to be protecting the water. How the fuck did that happen? How the fuck did that happen? Okay, that's enough. That's enough. They're just walking by. So, that's the reason they're supposedly in authority. That's the reason. So, that's why we're like this. Look. That's why it looks like this. Because of the fact there's so many different topics to go on that you could get lost in the sauce trying to keep track of their fuck shit. Okay? You could get lost in the sauce. That's why nothing ever gets fucking solved. Because they're all, oh, it's the Democrats. Oh, it's the Republicans. No. Think about it like this. America is like Walmart. Okay? Walmart, all their products are from China. They buy in bulk. That's how they can afford to charge you those little amounts of money for their products, right? Everybody in America does it. But America is like Walmart, and Walmart is like a place that you shop at because you don't have enough money to shop nowhere else. That's how America is. You don't have enough money to shop nowhere else. The thing is that technically we do. We could be making business with China, just like how all these rich white people did when they moved our manufacturing over to China. All of these guys got rich as shit doing business with China, getting cheap labor, child labor ass shit, charging us buku money for bullshit. Atalo, in Spanish, atalo is like up to the fucking solar panels is what they're fucking charging us. Like triple the amount of what they paid for shit. And sometimes even I've seen even 1,000% markup. And then they have the audacity now, after they moved all the manufacturing over, to be like, America first. And you know, we need to bring back manufacturing. Mind you, think about the educational system and think about the minorities that learned about business. We didn't know about business like that until recently. We just got on the wave of how to be self-employed and be employed with like S corporations and C corporations. We just learned that shit because they didn't teach us that shit. Our parents didn't teach us that shit like white people learn that shit. So, and then we didn't know about real estate or none of that shit. So we just started learning that shit, and we're like, oh, what are we gonna do? Let's because we want to pay our employees well, and we want to do right by our employees, but we need to get product that is not too expensive because white people are charging us a lot of money. The ones that are here manufacturing anything are charging us a shitload of money. So we go work with China. Now all of a sudden they call it morals and they call ethics and they call it integrity when we're trying to come up and they're already millionaires. Their kids are already millionaires. They got their grandkids are already millionaires. Even little kids are millionaires on fucking their technology and their fucking wave and their network and the people that they interact with. And then they want to sit there and be now trying to tell people like me and other people that are minorities and even like white people that were like poor white people that were uneducated that may have been like, let's say, been on drugs, went to jail. Now they came out and they don't know any better. So now they're just getting on the wave. Those type of people, they're trying to tell those type of people, oh, we don't want to do business with China. We want to do business with China. No, we don't want to deal with child labor. That's why when we go and deal with them, we go and we want to be able to make sure we can get over there and check their warehouses out. Make sure they don't have no child laborers in there. Well, we want to do Skype chat calls. Make sure they don't have no child laborers over there. All right. So, a lot of us are doing the due diligence to make sure that's not a reality. They don't even want us to do that. They raise the tariffs. They raise the tariffs on these fucking dudes. Okay. Now they got them all fucked up. And then they're like, oh, bring manufacturing back. Starting drama where there was none. Because they simultaneously, while they're worried about Uyghurs or whatever native Muslims or whoever the fuck they claim that China was killing, okay, we don't know. That's not our fucking business because you don't see China coming over here talking about why did you have all those kids in cages? You shouldn't be doing that. They're a superpower too. They could have came over here and been like, why you got them kids in cages? Why you raping them? Why you neglecting them? They didn't come over here doing that. Why the fuck is America trying to be daddy do-gooder, world police, and be all up in their fucking business, trying to tell them what the fuck to do? Not to say that I'm condoning whatever they claim their asses were doing, but I'm saying don't sit there and try to look at them and act like you any better. Don't do that, because you're just as shitty. You just hide it well. And all the watchdogs that are supposed to be fucking watching these fucking inhumane acts are not watching you because they're too busy watching them because they think they're worse. Because you over here pushing the propaganda that those people are worse. So that's how they going with this shit. So I'm sitting here and I'm just like, you look silly. You look silly because, honestly, we wouldn't have to go this hard for the money if you would stop sitting here acting like you're so fucking broke. Your ass is not broke like that. First of all, once you fucking got rid of you being the people that had the treasury and you were the people that backed the dollar, once you got in bed with the central bank, don't be sitting up in here acting like you not just sitting here a printing press and printing out dollars. And once digital currency came into effect, don't be sitting out here acting like money is not able to be manifested out of fucking the ether in this bitch. And that we can't be sitting out here millionaires, everybody. You out here trying to fucking have everybody all fucked up except for your people. And then gonna sit there and try to okie doke everybody like, oh, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Let me tell you something. Then I'm gonna take a cut before I go into that. Because that was basically the mode and the wave that I was on when I started commenting on this video. Because I'm like, America doesn't even have the audacity. They have the audacity, but they don't even have the authority, the right to even come out their fucking mouth after all the fucked up ass shit that they've done, after the trash ass behavior that they fucking been presenting. Then all it's done is gotten worse. Now it's out in the open on video now publicly Karens and fucking Nazis and fucking Confederates that are brainwashed by Nazis, a whole bunch of these fucking people, all now together, they're mad for a reason. Set their racism to the side. Set their racism to the side. They're mad that they're not getting that money. They're not getting that money because now they have competition. They don't have slaves anymore. They have them. They actually have them. Facebook has slaves. YouTube has slaves. Instagram has slaves. They got them. The issue is that they're not super monopolizing, and they're realizing the gap is closing on their superiority, their financial superiority above anybody else. So they're panicking. And a lot of these old families that came from bumblefuck, that they participated in slavery, but then they stopped participating in slavery, and then they had I'm doing like this, all this land, okay? All like that, all right? We not no little bit of land. Hundreds and fucking thousands of acres of land these people got. Hundreds and thousands. So once they got rid of their slaves, they had to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, and they did what they had to do, but they didn't want to do it. Okay? And they made their money, but they didn't want to do it. They took the celebrity route, got sponsorships, started race car driving, building boats, building planes, taking contracts for the military, doing all this fuck shit. And then the military and the government started being like the mafia and giving their friends and family the contracts and fuck everybody else. Because back then, nobody else was in the game because nobody else even knew how to do that. Now, people trying to get in the game, they can't even do that. And mind you, we're talking about places like Lockheed Martin. You wouldn't think that that's like good old boy network, right? Let me tell you how good old boy network Lockheed Martin is. Lockheed Martin is so good old boy network that the United States government made a contract with them to make jets. They had a specific time they were supposed to make those fucking jets, okay? These guys made the jets. They fucked up the jets so goddamn bad. Like, it was able to fly. It was able to go up in the air. Like, the shell was there. They got the manufacturing. The welders were on point. The welders were on point. But when it came down to the technology in the inside, these people are not technology savvy. Why the fuck you think they hire Asians? Why the fuck do you think they hire random ass Germans and shit? Because they're not that smart. Because our educational system doesn't even make them read all of their books. They like take little chunks out of the books and they go, oh, here's your degree. What the fuck do you know? What really do you know? You don't know a lot. You might know your specialty, all right. But there's A, B, C, D professionals. And even they didn't even read all their damn books. It's people on the street that are more well-rounded in world affairs as well as educationally that know much more than their asses do. But somehow they feel like their silver spoon is going to just take them all the way. Once they get in that fucking warehouse and they start to manufacture that shit, and that shit is not coming out right, they still got their money. Who's asked out? The federal government's asked out because they paid them already. And then they get half-ass bullshit-ass product. Because they're too busy one hand washing the other and worrying about fucking taking care of their fucking friends and their family over anybody else. So, this lady was like commenting underneath in the comment section after I was like airing a little bit of shit out about it, I'm like, fuck it's not to say that fuck this country, but yeah, fuck this country. Because honestly, if this country was humble, that would be one thing. No, this country's not humble. They sit there and try to literally act like they somebody's daddy. They daddy do-gooder. They out here, they got it like that. They gonna be out here fucking putting everybody in check. Wrong. That's not how that shit is working. It's not working like that because these niggas are fucking lying, scumbag ass, trash ass, piece of shit ass people. Okay? And we talking Republicans and Democrats together. That's why I said, look at this country like it's Walmart, like it's a company. Okay? Leave your little your ethics and your morals to the side, because if you the country is run on "In God We Trust." It's on every bill. They say it's supposed to be a separation of church and state, but in all reality, that's not the case. You go into that courtroom, you put your hand on that Bible. You put your hand on that Bible. They don't even believe in that Bible. They don't even believe in that shit. But they making you sign a soul contract and swear an oath on that Bible. Okay? While they are walking this God's green earth like the devil themselves. Like the devil themselves. And then they gaslight you in their fucking movies and their shows and in all their bullshit, trying to act like, oh, people that are, witchcraft and all this shit is that shit is the devil, and we need to exorcise these demons. Look to the left. Look to the right. There's Christians on both sides. There's religious people on both sides. And they all run the governments. They all run them. And they don't even believe in it. They don't. How many of them you seen at Bible study? How many? I'm asking all the religious people out here. How many of you seen them? How many of them you seen at Bible study? How many you seen them at Bible study? How many masses they went to? How many times you seen them in mass? Have you seen them ever praying in public? How many times you seen them praying in public? That's some bullshit. It's a fallacy. So, we're sitting here thinking about how the fuck anybody is trying to tell us that anybody's better than the next person. Any government is better than the next person. When you have a G7 summit, that means that 7 continents, 7 superpowers are all in agreement financially. Put your fucking country to the side. That is a business itself. That is a boardroom itself, bitch. Like, vote, go vote, go vote, go vote. You can be the change. Are you kidding me? What change are we gonna fucking be when there's literal fucking countries that are superpowers deciding whether they want to tax fucking conglomerates, and conglomerates are not even supposed to be legal. Monopolies aren't even supposed to be legal. They took it a step further and said, well, if monopolies aren't good, a true narcissistic form, if monopolies aren't going to be legal, you know what? We'll just be a conglomeracy then. That's how they sound, like bros. Well, if they say that monopolies aren't legal and we're gonna get asked out if we have monopoly, like the internet companies and those networks, then you know what? We might as well. They sound like Donald Trump. That's what they sound like. We might as well have a conglomerate. Or have a summit. We'll call it a summit. That's what we're gonna call it. Because we gotta do something. We gotta look like we're doing something. Alright? That's how they sound. That's how they sound to me. They're sitting there right after I made this fucking comment talking about that they are discussing in their summit whether they want to have a minimum 15% on conglomerates. What they should have been discussing is how in the fucking fuck a conglomeracy is actually legal when a monopoly is not legal. That's what they should have been discussing. As well as how in the fuck that their asses are going to tax them that is going to be balanced. Not the minimum, okay? How you're gonna tax them so that Regular fucking people, middle class, low class people, don't have the shittiest fucking goddamn quality of life, and they're not out here slaving their fucking days away to fucking enrich your trash asses beyond fucking cognition. Is what they should have been discussing. They weren't discussing that. No, they were too busy okie dokie in these fucking conglomeracies, because if they don't do that, and it just became a divine download for me, because after this whole YouTube situation happened, and this lady, I said I was going to do a sidebar. So the lady commented like, well, if America is so shitty, then why don't you just move back to where you came from? And I was like, listen, bitch. Let me break it down real simple for you. If you expect me to move back to where you dragged my family from, you have another thing coming to you. Because if anybody has authority or an okay to live in America, it would be brown people that were dragged out of their fucking goddamn tribes and fucking indoctrinated into your fuck ass trash ass shit. And your asses, your fucking shitty asses that got us all fucked up like this, y'all should be going back to Europe. That's where your fucking asses should go. The Europeans have their own stock market and everything. Take your fucking asses back over there. That's where you need to be going. Maybe if you and your ilk went back to where the fuck your asses came from, even if you're a Spanish-speaking ass fucking Spaniard, take your fucking ass back over there, okay? After Donald Trump, after COVID, even your people don't even want you over there because they're disgusted by your fucking pestilence, okay? They don't even want you over there. So now you're fucking stuck with us. Stuck, okay? If you don't want to act right, we don't need to act right. We don't need to act right. Because clearly, you're not acting right. You want us to act right, but you don't want to act right. But then you quick to tell somebody, go back to Africa. First of all, you were the reason why Africans think that we're lazy. You are the one. You're the reason why fucking Africans think that we just sit here all day looking for handouts. Your fucking trash ass propaganda is the reasoning why our own fucking people hate us. And we're not talking about the niggas that fucking sold us. Because we know some of them fucking try to fuck us up the asshole with no lube and fucking sold our asses into slavery because they couldn't fucking stand this damn excellence. We know that. But, like you said, that was common practice. They could have fucking did that shit to another, gave us to another tribe. No, they gave us to your fuck asses that took us over here and slaughtered fucking Native Americans. Then gonna sit there and act like you fucking worked your whole life for everything that you got when you've been passing down, avoiding inheritance taxes for God knows how many fucking generations. God knows how many fucking generations you've been fucking avoiding inheritance taxes and fucking property taxes because you're claiming disabled or claiming veterans benefits or whatever the fucking fuck ass reason your ass is trying to get away from fucking paying taxes. Which are bullshit, because that's what it is. Then gonna sit there and be telling us to go somewhere. We don't want to go back there where nobody fucking loves us. We don't want to stay here with niggas that don't love us either, but trust and believe we'd rather send your bitch asses back to fucking Europe than fucking sit here and deal with this fucking trash ass fuck shit every goddamn day. We don't want to deal with that shit. And and we don't even advocate to send their asses back. We don't be like, brown people don't be like, oh, well, why don't you go back to Europe? We don't say that. We're like, get your fucking shit together and stop acting like you fucking are God's fucking gift to this goddamn earth. Stop acting like that, because you're not. You are literally, if anybody could define the devil, you guys have showed through example that you fit the par. Okay? You fit the par of demonic. Now you want to sit there and be claiming anybody else is demonic. You to come over here talking about you ran away from fucking religious persecution, then turn around and fucking burn fucking supposed witches on fucking stakes in this bitch. Burned pagans on the stakes because so what? Because you thought you were better than them? No, you're no better than your fucking forefathers. You should have took your fucking asses back there back then. Now we gotta be stuck with you now. You gonna hear it today. And I'm not saying it's all of them. I'm not saying it's all of them. Because some people got some damn common sense. Some people got some education, no better. They're like, these niggas are fucked up. These fuckers are fucked up. They're wild. They're wild. I never seen no shit like this in my life. Some white people got some sense. They're like, what the fuck? And we love them. We love them. We do. Because they go hard for us. They do. They really do. But the thing is that, like, for them to sit there and try to front on places that have human rights violations, when the only reason that they're so low on the human rights violation chart is because the watchdogs are like, oh no, we don't see it. We don't see it. What? We don't see it. It's over there. They looking over there. That's how it's going. They don't see that shit. And plenty of them are headquartered in the United States. They don't want to fuck up with their rent. They don't want to fuck up with their properties, okay? They're not trying to fuck up their properties. They're not trying to fuck up their contracts. They don't want to do that. So that was my side banter. Now, flash forward to a random ass Nazi commenting, you're a shill to say we like you're an American. Let's all take a moment of silence. Let's all take a moment of silence to just let his spirit pass to the other world. He's alive, but let's just guide his spirit to the other world, because once he dies, finally we'll be done with that. Okay? Finally. That's how we're going to do it. Because if anybody has any right to say we, Americans, it's a person that's been going through this fuck shit their whole entire lives. Anybody. They've been going through this fuck shit, the systemics, their whole entire lives. Then they wanted to double down with the gamification their whole entire lives. There's no goddamn way. Then rewind to the shit that I said about how they hired the Nazis. And this guy had a swastika in his name tag. American shouldn't even be a thing. It shouldn't even be a thing. It just so happened my ancestors made it a thing because their ancestors wanted it to be a thing, right? Now it's a thing, and now they're trying to act like we don't belong in the thing. We're not supposed to be in the same car. That's when you start speeding really fast down the highway, and everybody starts getting excited, and then you open the door. And your door is automatic open. And you open that door and you kick them out. Pow! You kick them out. You don't even belong here. If anybody belongs here, we belong here. And even still, we don't. We would just know that by default, they would grandfather us in. Because where the fuck would we have to go after you fucking took us from the goddamn bush in this bitch and brought us over here and fucking exploited us, you pieces of trash. So let me pause so I can see so I can keep myself on track.